If you have a cityscape or a cinematic scene of a landscape where you would like to replace a part of a building or billboard, etc. with your own video, logo or any artwork, then this tutorial should help you get started. Welcome to 4A's Tech. As always, we bring you tech reviews, tips and tutorials to help you live life smarter. As you've seen previously, we will be taking this city scene and replace one side of this tower with our own artwork and retouch it in the end. There will be 4 major parts to this tutorial. In case you want to skip to a particular section, we'll create an alpha map of building, then we'll do the camera tracking of the scene, attach a footage on building, and finally the color tweak with a LUT. Now let's open up After Effects. So I'll start with importing up the footage. First, the tower scene. Move it down to New Composition. I'll hit backslash to fit the composition to the viewing area. So what we need is to basically create a mask around this side of the building. So I'll move in my footage, which is my channel intro, and this is how it looks like. I'll just slide this down to create a more viewing area. So we'll create a shape around this side of the building. Go to the start of the timeline. I'll be using pen tool and start drawing around the building. I will lower down the opacity so I can see through the shape and better make adjustments accordingly. So I'll quickly run down all the points to better adjust them according to the border of this side. Now I will expand the shape layer, go into Contents, Shape 1 and choose the path. At the beginning of my timeline, I'll click this watch icon and set up a keyframe there. We'll move on about 12 frames, which is half of a second. Once again, tweak all the points. As soon as you start tweaking all these points, you'll see another keyframe placed right at this point. Now this is the process which will go on for the rest of the keyframes. So I'll just quickly fast forward the video. It literally took me like maybe just 7 to 10 minutes to do all of this masking. So it doesn't take really long. If I run the timeline, the mask looks really good. I'll raise up the opacity back to 100% so you can see it. That looks good. Now we'll start with the tracking. So I'll select my tower layer. I'll move my playhead to the start of the timeline and hit Track Camera. After that, I'll go to Effects Control and turn on Detailed Analysis. I can just hide the shape layer. This will take a couple of minutes. Once it is done, you'll have all these points coming up. Now you can hit the render track points and you'll have all these points appearing on your scene. All of these are your tracking points. If you just hover over these tracking points, you can see different planes in the form of this circle, and the one that best suits according to the side of that building, I'll just right click and make a null and camera. After that, I have this track null right here. So I'll just quickly turn off the camera tracker because we don't need it anymore. Come back to my track null. If I scrub through the timeline, see this point moving well along with the building. I'll just choose my rectangle once again and draw a shape layer to cover the building. Pre-compose this. Type screen, make sure that I'll be checking open a new composition and hit OK. As soon as I do that, I have the new composition opened. Go back to the main composition, which is tower, and here I will turn this composition into a 3D layer. Hit T and open up opacity. Set this to 50% just to have a better view. I'll hit up R to bring up the rotation menu, and here I'll change the Y rotation to adjust this side according to the building. Move it around. So as you've turned this layer into a 3D layer now, you can make adjustments in the 3D axis. You can move it along X, Y, and Z axis. After you've made your adjustments, you need to select your track null, hit P, open up the position, Control C. So I'll copy that position from the track null. Back again to screen, hit P, open up the position menu, select that and Control V to paste all that position data from the track null to your screen. Now this is completely attached. You don't need your track null anymore. So at this point, I'll just open up scale by hitting S and scale my screen size to my scene. Now this is just a rough estimation because the screen is going to come right on that part. So now it looks better. Go into the screen by double clicking it, and right here I'll drag and drop my intro channel. So here I'll make all sorts of adjustments needed. You can have your own media, you can make your own adjustments. I don't know what your logo is going to look like, the size of it, etc. So that all is variable. As my intro is a little shorter, so I'm going to go to time stretch, and slower down my intro to stretch the timeline a little bit more. Now I can make adjustments to my intro, do a bit of scaling, a bit of position, so I can bring that part that I really want to show into that rectangle. Once I'm happy with the position, I'll select my intro layer, click on this track matte menu, and select alpha matte from here. Now if I go back to my tower layer, should be able to see that my intro is right there. It is attached on the rectangle. Now the same thing I'm going to do with the rectangle. So I'm going to select the screen, the track matte menu. From here select alpha matte. So now your shape, which you made right in the beginning of this tutorial, has become the matte of your 3D screen, which is coming on top of this building. If you play it around, it looks pretty decent. I'll just go back to my screen, move around my intro here and there to better adjust the spot where I really want to see my footage on that building. You can play around and do whatever suits you. Go back to tower. Right here you have selected the matte. That looks promising. Now there are tons of blending modes that you can use to adjust your footage. For my scene, lighten goes best, so I'm going to select lighten. Now the final touches. So right click in the area, choose new, and select adjustment layer. Having your adjustment layer selected, you can rename it to color adjust. Go down to effects and presets and find lumetri color. Drag and drop that onto your color adjust layer. Here I'll add a bit of vignette. Select my color wheels, improve highlights, maybe reduce a bit of shadows. Go to basic correction, add a bit more contrast to the scene, maybe 25, yeah. Improve the saturation of the scene. I'll head over to creative and pick up a LUT from here. There are a lot of LUTs that you can pick. I see something blue looks good, but that's too intense, so I'll reduce the intensity to something like 30%. That looks spot on. So your scene is almost complete, and that's about it. So turn on and off your lumetri color and you can see the difference. So there we go. I have tried to keep this straightforward for you guys. Feel free to practice a little and choose your own aesthetic style for your content. Put down any questions you may have in the comment section below. If you like what you see, then do like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you soon with another video. Till again, Forest Tech signing out.